I now want to hand over to Robert and Penny to give us a bit more about the Lieutenancy, the Queen's Award, and what this all means. Over to you.
Thank you very much indeed. Penny, shall I kick this off? Firstly, I'm just going to correct you because you have another representative of the Lieutenancy here. Akhtar Zaman, of course, is also a Deputy Lieutenant.
We do, yeah.
So before I start, I must add my huge congratulations to everybody for winning what is a very prestigious award, and I'm sure we'll hear a little more about the award in a minute, perhaps more so from Penny, who has led the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service panel in the Lieutenancy so ably for a number of years. It is an immense achievement, there's no question about it. It is known as the MBE for volunteers, and that's the level at which it is. There were 230 Queen's Award for Voluntary Service awards made this year around the whole of the United Kingdom. So to win one really does show you, if you consider how many charities and voluntary organisations there are around the country. I know how many there are in Hertfordshire. I think it's well over 4,000. So you extrapolate that around the country, and I think it really shows you the incredible achievement that you have made. I'm afraid I can't present you. All I can probably present you is this glass of water, but it's not going to be very significant. And of course, I very much look forward to coming out with Penny and others to make the presentation, which is going to be a little bit delayed. And I can tell you that your beautiful cut glass ornament or award itself has yet to be made because the company who make them are closed at the moment. So we are going to have to wait. I think, Tony, you've asked me to give just a little bit of background on the Lieutenancy and my own role, which I'm very happy to do. I know a number of you sitting around here, but if you've heard this many times before, then I apologise. So I was appointed as Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant for Hertfordshire in August 2017, following on from the Countess of Verulam, and I am Her Majesty's personal representative in the county. My principal role, or the principal role of the Lieutenancy, is to uphold the dignity of the Crown. But alongside that, there are numerous other roles we undertake on behalf of Her Majesty, including the most pleasant ones, which is presenting wonderful awards like this, and Queen's Awards for Enterprise as well as British Empire medals and occasionally MBEs, etc. We also, and I say we, I'm assisted by a number of deputy lieutenants. I'm allowed to appoint 57. The number is determined by the population of the county. So in fact, when we do the next census, which I think is next year, I imagine that the number will go up. At the moment, there are 46 deputies appointed, and they assist me in a raft of duties, as I say, carried out on behalf of Her Majesty. Apart from presenting awards, which is a very enjoyable part of our role, we also arrange and I receive all the royal visitors to the county, which sadly are very few at the moment. We were supposed to have a royal visit last week from the Duke of Gloucester, which had to be obviously postponed, I'm pleased, not cancelled. But there is talk that the royal members of the royal family, or certain members of the royal family, are considering trying to re-establish royal visits. So hopefully come the autumn, we will be able to welcome some royal visitors into the county again. We're also involved with the military, because that goes back to our past history, where the Lord Lieutenant was appointed by the monarch basically to look after his armies all around the country, and that is why each county has a Lord Lieutenant. That goes back to Henry VIII. We were also asked to keep an eye on the High Sheriff. And why? Because the High Sheriff, which is the oldest continuous role, ceremonial role in the country, the High Sheriff was the collector of taxes. And there were apparently some very naughty High Sheriffs, and therefore one of our roles is to keep an eye on the High Sheriff. So when I see Henry Holland Hibbert, who's our current High Sheriff, I will make sure that he's not pocketed any of the council tax. Apart from that, we obviously spread the good word around the county and get involved with as many organisations as we can, and I'm delighted that my deputy lieutenants and I are involved with a vast number of organisations. I'm patron of, I think, 23 different charities. We're involved with Hertfordshire Community Foundation, of which I'm president, and other deputy lieutenants sit on the board of trustees there. And basically we spread as much good word as we can. The lieutenancy I've split into 14 different panels, so encompassing our expertise in things like education, health, which is vitally important at the moment, of course, business, social responsibility, etc., etc., etc. And also to make sure that I can keep an eye on what's going on around the county and report back to Her Majesty. And a lot of people say to me, well, do you really report back to Her Majesty? And I can tell you that 15 minutes ago, I promise you this is true, I got an email from Sir Edward Young, who is Her Majesty's private secretary, because I reported to her 3 days ago that we have a priest in the county who's celebrating his 70th anniversary of his ordainment, Canon Christopher Newton, and is still preaching at the age of 94. And I thought this was something important enough to inform the Queen about. And I'm delighted that 15 minutes ago, he came back and said, could he have her address, because Her Majesty would like to write to him. So yes, Her Majesty does keep an eye on what's going on around the counties. She's particularly interested in Hertfordshire because, of course, she spent part of her youth here in the home now occupied by her cousin, my predecessor's predecessor, Sir Simon Bowes-Lyon. In a very quick resume, that's more or less what we do. I'm involved with the military. I'm president of the Reserve and Cadet Force. With the magistrates, I'm chairman of the Magistrates Association and the Advisory Council of Magistrates. I'm president of Hertfordshire Scouts, the St John's, etc., etc., etc. So we are here basically, as I say, to represent Her Majesty, but as she showed us in that wonderful broadcast 2 or 3 weeks ago on a Sunday evening, we're here to spread good word and to spread good cheer in times of considerable darkness. So we're happy to do that. I'm absolutely delighted that you've given us the opportunity to join you today. And once again, my extreme congratulations. It really is. I cannot stress strongly enough. It's an amazing achievement. And I get great, great pleasure presenting these awards, which I look forward to later on in the year, hopefully.